welcome back to the channel. So, as promised, Penallta Colliery. Just having a look here from where the housing estate is at the back of the place. All these old buildings from the colliery. This one you come past on the main road up there. That's quite a big building as well. I'm going to drive round to the other side just now and take a look at all the winding gear and stuff. There's not a hell of a lot to see from this side. It's all overgrown with trees and stuff at the moment. So I will tell you a bit of the story a bit later in the video. So this is the other side of where I was. That's the building you could see from the housing estate. And I think this is the main sort of winding house building here, which had the big drums for the cable for the winding gear. So just a bit of history about the place. 1882, Powell Dufferin Steam Company Limited acquired the mineral lease. That was the start of it all. That's a weird shaped structure. This, all the windows have been broken or fallen out or whatever. Two shafts were sunk in 1906, 1907 and completed in 1909. See, they've got some kind of temporary fence around there, which you could sneak in, but I'm not going to. They're saying it's not safe to do so on this sign yet. Coal was found 2 miles from east to west and 3 miles from north to south. So in other words, it was 6 square miles of coal. That's a lot of coal, and it covers a vast area. Number 1 shaft started in October 1906 and was sunk to a depth of 783 yards. There's now a housing estate here where a lot of the coal works were. No fence around this part of it. I don't know whether you can get into where the actual winding gear is. So number 2 shaft started in June 1907 when the number 1 shaft was 202 yards deep. The number 2 shaft reached a depth of 750 yards and it was deepened to 800 yards in the 1950s. When you stand next to the structure, that's when you realize how big it is. It's quite a massive building. So yeah, both shafts were 21 feet in diameter and 70 feet apart. So that's one of the main winding gears there, the structure for it. So I'm guessing the shaft would have been just below that. Steam winding engines were cheaper, so they were used. They cost about a quarter of the amount of money. And they had a 24-foot diameter drum for the cables that could raise 6 tons of coal in 45 seconds. That's quite impressive. So yeah, I'm not sure if you can get any closer to these or not. I'm going to have a look and see what the story is. The winding house building, which is this one here, I'm guessing. It's 300 feet long by 70 wide. Also, steel props were used at some point, but were not popular with miners as there was no warning of groaning timbers before a collapse. Output reached 860,000 tons in 1931. Just to give you a few facts about the mining operation and how vast it was and how many people relied on it. I think I've chosen the wrong time of the day to come down here. People all getting home from work. But yeah, this is sort of standing below the wall, looking up at the winding gear. One of them in any case. I'm just going to take a walk around and see if we can get a better view of it from another angle. Manpower was increased until 1932 when it was 3,248. That was the maximum amount of people that worked at this colliery, according to what I found out on Google anyway. This lot looks like it's all fenced off up here. And that's a different angle of the winding gear up there. That's one of the two shafts. There's quite a few injuries, including a suicide in 1913 when a man jumped over the 3-foot barrier into one of the mine shafts. In 1962, the winding engines were converted to electric as part of improvements to the mine. The total cost of improvements being £2.5 million. That's quite a bit of money for 1962. Shafts were deepened to 800 yards. That's the depth. The winding engines could each handle the weight of 50 men or 6 tons of materials. Some of the coal seams were up to 7 feet thick. In later years, as mechanization took place, less men were employed, and when the mine finally closed in 1992, there were 522 employees. It was no longer economical, as most of the coal reserves had been mined out. Penallta Colliery was the last deep mine in the Rumney Valley. The miners' strikes in 1984-85 stopped production, but after a month everything was back to normal. In 1996 the old tipping area was changed into a community park and the colliery site was used for housing, which is what you see around here now. There's all modern houses, and from what I've seen on Google Maps, there's quite a few of them that have got like solar panels and that sort of thing. They're supposed to be quite energy efficient from what I understand. So yeah, I'm gonna maybe take a look from the other side. I'll take a drive up there, see if I can see anything more from maybe the main road, if we can get a better view of the winding gear, etc. But here we can get a better view of the buildings and the winding gear, just a bit of a distance away on the road now from it, just to give you an idea. I don't know whether you can see much of that. It's a pity we can't get inside there to have a good look around. Right, here we are. I did find there was another road that comes around into this part of it, of the colliery. That's the winding gear we were looking at from below, and this is the other one. That must be a good 20 meters in height, I'm guessing. At least I don't have the sun in my eyes yet. Let me just see if I can zoom in. My zoom doesn't want to do anything. I'm tapping it. It doesn't want to zoom. Oh, you got to hold it. Yeah, that's right. Right, as you can see on the front of the Winding House building, 1906. I don't know if you can make that out there. Just under there. Just there. I see there's some holes in the roof. There were stories that I heard about youngsters having climbed up here at some point and fallen through that roof. That is quite a fall. I mean, you're looking at a building that's 2-3 stories high. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to go inside the place. Not a good idea, I think. Some of it's been bricked up. There are some window panes intact on this side. I have seen other vloggers actually walking around inside here, but there's not much point really. You don't want to be falling down some mine shaft or a sinkhole. I think they have covered them all up and so on. They should actually make a sort of museum out of the place to commemorate all those that worked here. All the coal miners who worked their butts off day in, day out, non-stop. Yeah, looks like I've done some trimming of bushes and things and left them all piled up on the side of the building. So that's what the back of the building's looking like. As you can see, holes in the roof there. Hang on, let me zoom this out again so we get a better perspective of it all. Old telephone insulators there on the wall by the looks of it. The rest of it is like an industrial park where there are businesses still in operation. So some of the buildings are still going. I'm guessing the rear of the building is like for deliveries and so on. But yeah, the old buildings, they're still standing. All the old guttering still on the building. There's big drain pipes there. Quite a steep sloping roof, that. But yeah, you're looking at a building that's now 118 years old, roughly. So you can just imagine, like I say, the scale of this operation, the depth, 800 yards, 6 square miles, and that sort of tonnage of coal coming out of the ground every year. It was something, expected tonnage was something like 6.5 tons per man per shift. So that's a lot of coal. So yeah, that's Penallta Colliery. That's what it looks like in the present day. But yeah, I'm impressed by the actual height of these towers here. I come past this quite often in the car. I've never really stopped to have a good look at it. They must have had some quite heavy cables running down into the shafts. I'm guessing the shafts are directly below these, but I don't know anything about mining, so I could be wrong. I stand to be corrected on that. But yeah, just imagine how many hollow spaces there are under the ground as well. Now, this place has even got trees growing out of the old guttering, etc. And it's just inhabited by the blackbirds. And that's the building you can see from the main road. Not sure exactly what that was. They had sort of various buildings here. I guess like sort of shower blocks and things like that for the workers to wash after their shift and so on. But like I say, at the moment looks like there's a bit of a business park here, and down at the bottom there's a housing estate. So anyway, as promised, that is the video of Penallta Colliery and some of the facts behind it. I think you can get into the main building there, but I don't think it is safe to do so. So I'm going to leave it at that. The sun is going down, time to be moving on, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Hope that you all stay safe and well, and wish you all happy sunny days. Bye bye for now.